Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the February 18th regular meeting of the Board of Selectpersons. I'm first Selectperson Christine Vitale, and I'm joined by Selectperson Brenda Kupchak, who is joining us via Zoom. Ask you to all please rise for the pledge. Mr. Papageorge, will you?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to agenda item number 3, appointments. Solid Waste and Recycling Commission. We have Courtney L. Radzosavlijic. Sorry for that. Democrat, 337 Random Road, term November 2022 to November 2026. And this is to replace Mary Byer, who resigned. I want to thank Ms. Byer for her service on the commission. Courtney had a work conflict and is unable to be with us, but her backup, her resume and application is included in the backup. Mary worked in the recycling industry, and she brings practical knowledge of best practices as well as insight into innovative recycling initiatives that transform waste into new and usable products. She has served on the North Stratfield PTA, was an active member of the Junior League, so just has been involved in community through other volunteer organizations. Ms. Kupchak, Courtney's not with us, but I don't know if you have anything to add or any questions.
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay. Any public comment? Seeing none, back to the board for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Moving on to number 4, purchasing authority. We have Mr. Toolin and Mr. Papageorge with us. To hear, consider, and act on authorizing the purchasing authority to enter into an agreement between the Town of Fairfield and Land Tech Consultants, Inc. of Westport, Connecticut, to provide design and project oversight services as detailed in Town of Fairfield RFP 2026-34 and the Land Tech submission dated January 13th, 2026, with a base contract for project phases 1 through 3 not to exceed $124,381, with additional authority to enter into necessary change orders in an amount not to exceed the approved funding for the project. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second that. Mr. Papageorge or Mr. Toolin, who wants to lead us off?
Hi, this is Adam Toolin. I'll start.
Okay.
So yes, as the resolution stated, we put out this RFP earlier this year. We received 5 submissions from 5 highly qualified firms. Ultimately, an RFP panel was put together and shortlisted down to the top 3 rated firms who were brought in for interviews. And upon completion of the interview process, Land Tech Consultants received the award recommendation. So we're here before you today to get your approval of the proposed contract with Land Tech Consultants.
Mr. Papageorge, do you want to just give an oversight of what they're going to be doing for us?
So this is the design work for the new turf field at Ward High School. So they will do the design, water, infiltration, all phases of the construction project for a new turf field. It's not a replacement, it's a brand new field at Ward High School. So happy to answer any questions.
Ms. Kupchak, any questions for Mr. Papageorge or Mr. Toolin?
Yes, thank you. Angeles, what was the total cost of this project again?
I apologize, I don't have that. What was finally approved? I want to say 2.5.
And how long is this field supposed to last?
This field, we would push to get approximately 15, max out at 20 years on this type of field. There's different types, and we're still working with Land Tech once we have a contract to determine the best type of turf field to use for this location. So, and we will do everything to maximize the warranties on all of the field materials.
Okay.
And this is the company that did the turf field at Roger Lowell Middle School, the design services?
They have done RLMS, they've done several throughout the state, and they're very well known for doing artificial turf designs, so they were very impressed. As a panel, we were very impressed with their presentation to the group.
And in terms of, they're going to be doing, I know that soil testing was an issue at Roger Ludlow. We ran into some challenges there, which just delayed the project slightly. Did you talk to them about that at all?
That was actually talked about as part of the panel discussion with them and the other companies, and one of the things I think primarily because they had the experience with Roger Lowell Middle School, when they came in to present, one of the things that they recommended was that they would hit the ground running and do the necessary testing of soils before, as they're doing the project, so that if there is any concern, they can address it while they're still in design phase and development phase, rather than waiting until they're already breaking ground to determine that there's any need for any remediation or cleanup of any type.
All right, that's good to hear. So if they're not hoping that, we don't run into anything, that
Yeah.
if all of a sudden we find out that we have an issue, that's remediation is going to be pushing the budget, we would know that sooner rather than later.
Yes, and in the RFP process, we did include in their base price to include a number for the possibility of doing site remediation if needed. So there is some contingency already built into their pricing for that if need be.
And I know when the funding got approved to Board of Finance, there was just discussion about having infrastructure, while this doesn't include lights, just to make sure that the infrastructure would be there if we wanted to add lights at a later date, or if there was extra funding.
Yep, the project does not include light towers or lights, but it does include infrastructure underneath the turf, so that if at some point down the road, 10 years or so down the road, if someone decided that lights was a necessary part of this project or this field, it could be done without tearing up the entire field to do it.
And just in terms of the type of materials, obviously, just to follow the ordinance and.
We're very familiar with the ordinance, and we are working with Land Tech to determine the best alternative types of fields out there. What's current, what's new. There's always changing. So we had talked about a particular type during the approval process for the field. It wasn't something we were locked into, but it was something we were looking at. Now my understanding is that's kind of already a little bit behind, and there's newer stuff. So we're working with Land Tech to come up with the best and newest available and safest out there.
Any public comment on this item? Seeing none. Any last questions, Brenda?
No, thank you.
All in favor? Aye. In favor?
Oh, aye, sorry.
It's okay. Motion carries. Number 5, we have the purchasing authority, Mr. Tulin and Mr. Papa George again on this item. To hear, consider, and act on authorizing the purchasing authority to enter into a professional services agreement between the town of Fairfield and Collier's project leaders of Madison, Connecticut to provide project management oversight services and all else necessary for the security vestibule projects at various Fairfield Public School locations as detailed in the Town of Fairfield RFP 2026-30 and the Collier submission dated January 13th, 2026, with a total project fee not to exceed $219,000, with additional authority to enter into necessary change orders in an amount not to exceed the approved funding for the project.
So moved.
Thank you. Second that.
This is Adam Tulin, Director of Purchasing. The purchasing department issued this RFP earlier this year on behalf of the Special Projects Standing Building Committee. The vestibule projects will belong to them. So we issued the RFP. Colliers was the only respondent, which seems to be a trend that we've seen for this service recently. We're evaluating that and trying to determine next steps for future procurements for that. But at this time, they've been determined to be qualified. The Special Projects Standing Building Committee brought them in for an interview and unanimously recommended award to them. So we're here to present a contract for your approval.
Thank you. Mr. Papageorge, you want to just?
I would just add on to that we have done work with them, and from the public school side, we do support the Standing Building Committee and their choice to bring them on board. They've done many projects for the schools in the past, and we continue to support their work. And they do great work for us and for our reimbursement process. They're an invaluable resource.
Any questions, Ms. Kupchak?
When did we vote? We voted on this originally, right? The funding. Do you remember recently, wasn't it?
Back October?
I want to say October, late October, possibly even as late as early November for the sites. It's more than multiple sites, and then they were turned over to the Standing Building Committee.
Right. Okay. That's it. Thank you.
And this will just really just to carry on the work that's being done for the security vestibules, similar
Yes.
function and equipment.
Yep.
Okay. Any public comment on this item? Seeing none, back to the board for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Papageorge. Moving on to number 6, purchasing authority to hear, consider, we have Mr. Tulin and joined by Mr. Calabrese. To hear, consider, and act on authorizing the purchasing authority to enter into a contractual services agreement between the town of Fairfield and Nelts of Connecticut of North Franklin, Connecticut, to provide labor, equipment, materials, and all else necessary for lawn and grounds maintenance at various locations in Fairfield as detailed in the town of Fairfield bid number 2026-25 and the Nelts of CT submission dated December 26, 2025 for an additional contract period of April 1st, 2026 through March 31st, 2027, with additional authority to enter into up to 4 optional 1-year renewal terms for a total contract not to exceed 5 years. Have a motion?
So moved.
Second that? Mr. Tulin?
Hi, Adam Tulin, Director of Purchasing. The resolution kind of said it all, but we issued this bid at the end of the calendar year. We received 5 submissions from some very qualified firms. Ultimately, there were 2 submissions that had the 2 low bids. Their pricing was very similar. They were brought in to basically do a scope review, and ultimately we're recommending award to Nelts of Connecticut, the low bidder. The pricing is a little bit complicated, but ultimately I think we expect this to be about $124,000 annual expense, and this is to manage sort of incidental spaces like medians, small parks. Anthony could probably speak more directly to that.
Thank you, Adam. Yeah, this bid here is for all the mowing and maintenance of our islands pretty much around town. So anywhere that the parks crew doesn't do outside of athletic fields, this is that contract. I'm very excited to award this to Nelts CT. They are the largest landscaping firm on the East Coast. So they're doing this everywhere. So again, when we have over 100 sites between parks and conservation that this bid covers.
And what is our contract for the other fields? I mean, if we wanted to expand, would they into the future looking at doing more?
So Nelts has the capability to do more. They are interested in doing more. I don't recall if they bid on our athletic fields last time it went out. That's also a year-to-year contract. I think we have 2 more years with them. But again, we look at them every year, and if we're not happy, we put it back out to bid. Currently, we are happy, but
I wasn't.
You never know.
No.
So, yep.
Want to see how expansive the services are that they provide. Yeah. Any questions, Ms. Kupchak?
No, Anthony, I'm surprised. Some of these I would think would fall under DPW, like islands on streets.
Yeah, it's parks, which they're under DPW technically. But yeah, the parks crews has 8 of the 9 sections that are listed there are under parks. The one section, number 9, is conservation, which is under
Okay.
10.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any public comment on this? Seeing none, back to the board for a vote. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Okay, number 7, we have Mr. Calabrese again. I don't know if Justin?
No, Justin's.
Okay. Chief of Community Services, Parks and Recreation Director, to hear, consider, and act on authorizing Fairfield Parks and Recreation to enter into a licensed training provider agreement between the town of Fairfield and the American Red Cross to provide lifeguard, first aid, and swim classes for a period of 36 months. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second that? Mr. Calabrese?
Yep, so this contract with the American Red Cross is no fee to us. It's just so we can belong to the Red Cross and offer Red Cross certified classes. And then we get special discount rates when we provide those certifications.
Straightforward. Any questions?
No.
Any public comment? Seeing none, back to the board for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries 2-0. Thank you. Moving on to number 8. So we have Purchasing Director, Mr. Tulin, and Mr. Curley, and Mr. Zane. To hear, consider, and act on authorizing the purchasing authority to enter into a professional services agreement between the town of Fairfield and Luke's Consulting Engineers of Meriden, Connecticut, to provide construction administration and inspection services and all else necessary for the Rooster River Flood Mitigation Project for the terms of Town RFQ 2023-02 for on-call architectural and engineering services, and the Luke's proposal dated January 22nd, 2026 for an initial contract value not to exceed $139,350 with additional authority to enter into necessary change orders in an amount not to exceed the approved funding for the project. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second that? Mr. Tulin, you want to start us off?
Yes, Adam Tulin, Director of Purchasing. So this is pretty straightforward. We're utilizing our on-call list of architects and engineers to engage with Luke's Consulting. My understanding is that there's already a different design firm working on the actual design work for this project, and it was determined to be more cost-effective to directly engage with another firm for this inspection work. So that's what we have a proposed contract with Luke's Consulting for that inspection work.
I can
Okay,
add
just
to
give a
that.
little more.
Sure, yeah,
Thank
sure.
you, Mr. Hurley, to give us a little
Thanks to
detail.
Mega Jane, who is responsible for putting the proposal together with Luke's. As you know, this is for the Rooster River Detention Project. We are about to start once the weather cooperates, so it should be very shortly. We're on an expedited schedule, and we'll start, as I said, once the weather is favorable. There's a complexity to the project. There's coordination and permitting with the Army Corps of Engineers, DEEP. We have to constantly deal with the city of Bridgeport. There'll probably be some neighborhood issues that have to be, addressed during construction, special inspections, permit conditions, and maybe even some additional testing. So to have this company do the daily and special inspections for the main, what we call the main or the core of activities for the project when they're actually constructing the concrete dam portion of it. And then engineering can perform maybe some general inspections at the beginning, at the end as a cost savings. We have hired Luke's before for a couple of different projects, and we've had very positive results. And so we think it's a benefit for all to have this approved. So.
Thank you, Mr. Hurley. Ms. Kupchak, any questions?
No, just thank you both for your work on this. It's exciting. We're getting there. We're getting there.
I know, it's like one step at a time, but we're getting there.
Exactly.
Any public comment on this item? Seeing none, back to the board for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 2-0. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Moving 9, to review and approve the draft minutes of February 4th, 2026. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second that, any discussion?
No.
Any public comment? Seeing none, back to the board for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 2-0. Refunds, to consider and act upon tax refunds as recommended by the tax collector in the amount of $23,509.30. Have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second that. Any discussion?
No.
Any public comment? Seeing none, back to the board for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, for selectmen updates, select person updates, excuse me. So budget hearings beginning on February 24th, next Tuesday. I'll be presenting the proposed budget. And that will start 3 days of budget hearings with the Board of Selectpersons. So we'll be meeting the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th. There will be public comment at these meetings. The Board of Selectpersons will vote on the budget on March 2nd. The budget will then go to the Board of Finance. They will be holding their first budget hearing on March 5th. The schedule for the Board of Selectpersons, Board of Finance, and RTM budget hearings and votes is posted on the Finance Department webpage under Annual Budget and on our town website. And I just encourage the public to attend and watch the meetings, give your input. This is a process. It starts with my sharing the proposed fiscal year 27 budget, and the process ends in May with the RTM vote on the first Monday in May, and the Board of Finance will set the mill rate that week as well. Just for the public, our fiscal year runs July 1st through June 30th. And we encourage the public to carry along, to follow along, to share their feedback. Budget is a reflection of our values. Funds are the goods and services that we rely upon, and we want to hear from our residents. The revaluation and Board of Assessment Appeals, they are continuing to take applications. So I just want to remind everybody that applications to file for an appeal must be submitted to the assessor's office by February 20th. I believe at 5 p.m. It needs to be in the office, not postmarked. Senior and disabled tax relief application period. The application period to apply for seniors and disabled persons to apply for tax relief ends Thursday, May 15th, 2026. For questions or assistance, please contact the tax assessor's office. And for announcements, our town is so proud to have not one, but 2 Fairfield natives competing in the Olympics. Kristen Santos Griswold, who competed in the women's 500-meter quarterfinals heat 3 last Thursday, and the women's 1,000-meter qualifications last Sunday, and Mac Forehand, who competed in the men's freestyle big air qualification this past Sunday. This past Monday, Kristen narrowly missed a spot in the women's 1,000-meter short track speed skating semifinal by just 0.34 seconds, or 34 milliseconds, so incredibly close. And yesterday, in case you hadn't heard, Mac earned a silver medal for Team USA in the men's big air final after a narrow loss to Norway, which is so incredibly exciting. Want to just congratulate both these Olympians and these athletes. They've done Fairfield proud. It's been fun watching the Olympics and just seeing them just compete and just do so incredibly well.
Here, here. I'm with you. I absolutely love the Olympics. It's like one of my favorite things. And to have 2 Fairfielders competing was really extra special. It's awesome. Very proud.
Absolutely. And so just want to, we're sending well wishes to Cortina and their families and friends that are there celebrating with them. We wish we were all there with you. But know that positive energy from Fairfield and Connecticut is definitely coming your way. Any announcements, Ms. Kupchak, that you'd like to share? Nope. All right. Seeing none, we are going into executive session. I need a motion to go into executive session with Attorney Rick Aiken and Risk Manager Joseph Barbera concerning pending litigation, Philip Massandaro versus the Town of Fairfield, possible action to approve settlement after executive session. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second that. We are in executive session.
All right. In progress.
I have a motion to come out of executive session.
So moved.
Second that, we are out of executive session, no votes were taken. Can I have a motion to approve this settlement based on the terms discussed in executive settlement, executive session, excuse me?
So moved.
Second that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, have a good night.
You too. Take care.
All right, bye.